From craft beers to delicious cocktails and some amazing food. You're gonna find it all at the restaurant called The Meddlesome Moth. Chef Joe is running things over there, but now he's back with us to show us another delicious recipe. Why is it called The Meddlesome Moth?
You know, that's a mystery to everybody, I think.
Well, a moth is meddlesome because it eats
sure.
holes in your clothes.
And it certainly sticks in your mind.
Well,
you're going to remember that we're out there.
That's right. Okay, I love your food. We've all been gathered over here doing that wonderful black-eyed pea hummus, which was great. Tell me what you're going to do today.
So now another farmer's market favorite, we've got a succotash.
I love succotash.
And so one of the cool things about succotash is another thing that you can put really anything that comes out of your garden into it. Historically, we have succotash because corn, beans, and squash grow well together. The squash shades the corn stalk, and the beans wrap up the corn stalk, so they all grow together, use the same nutrients, and provide us with the nutrients. So it's a very healthy meal. So as long as you have those three, you can throw just about anything in there. One thing that I really love...
Do you have to cook them separately, like parboil them, or do anything like that?
Not at all, not at all. Especially if we're using the fresh beans. Now, if you're going to use a dried bean, then you'd want to pre-cook it some.
Tell me how. Let's start and show me what you're going to do
all right.
first.
So one of my favorite things this time of year is good fresh okra.
I love it.
A lot of people really hate okra, and it's because of that slime.
Yes.
And so what we're going to do first is smoke out the kitchen. But two, in a very hot pan, I'm going to go ahead and put the okra in there. And by cooking it very hot and fast,
it doesn't slime.
It's not going to get slimy.
And in the little rings, the little rounds, there just
Exactly.
doesn't seem to be, and it's so good.
So we just want to get that going as hot as your stove can handle. It's going to get a little smoky. Open a window, or you can also do it, you know, outside on the grill.
And how long will you cook this before you add some more vegetables?
As soon as you see it kind of start to brown up, then you'll know that slime has been kind of put asunder.
So then we're going to add what next?
So then on the side here, once that's good and brown, we'll add just a little bit of garlic and some shallot. I've also got a little bit of red bell pepper here.
Oh, these look beautiful.
And then we've got to have that squash to make that good triad. And I'm going to hold the tomatoes back a second just so they kind of hold their structure. And then just a couple of tablespoons of these good fresh purple whole peas.
Now wait a minute, you're not parboiling the peas?
No.
Are they going to be crunchy?
They'll be just a little bit firm, but because it's nice and fresh, you don't have to worry about soaking them and that sort of thing.
Is it kind of like, it's hard for my generation, which we cooked everything and boiled it to death. But
Absolutely.
now it's hard for me to say, this is not a cooked pea, but we're eating raw stuff more.
Eating a lot more raw things, and we know as a food community that the less you cook something, the more nutrients it's going to retain.
All right, I get that.
So as we just start to get a little bit of color on here, we'll want to hit it with just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
Always good fresh cracked pepper. And then chefs everywhere, you know, we use a lot of kosher salt, mostly because it's a little more pure, but also it feels better. There's a better grain to it. So you kind of know how much you're using.
So is Morton's iodized salt just out?
Yeah, you know, not a lot of folks are spending a lot of time crossing the seas in a big old wooden ship.
How does Morton feel about that?
Well, they sell the kosher salt, too.
Oh, that's right.
So they actually are saving money. They don't have to put the iodine in it. So just letting that cook down some.
Are you going to put some lemon in there?
I'm going to put a little bit of chicken stock in it to finish it up and kind of help to cook those peas and stuff.
But
and
you're putting the tomatoes now.
We'll go ahead and add those great heirloom tomatoes.
This looks so good.
We just want to keep it moving there.
Is this the chicken stock?
And then that's the chicken stock. You want to add about half of that in there, and we'll let that kind of simmer. Perfect.
Wait a minute. Let me steam my face. Ah, that's good. And then you've got chives.
A little bit of chives.
And I like something you got over here, bud. It's butter.
A little bit of butter. So that's really the chef's secret. You wonder how in the culinary world we get those great shiny sauces.
And it's butter.
And it's just a big old chunk of butter at the end. We talked about all the nutrients before.
This looks, you guys, this makes so much sense. And I thought all of this would take so long if I hadn't learned a good cooking lesson today from you, Joe.
Absolutely.
This is beautiful.
So we just let that cook in, and as the butter melts, it kind of collects all those flavors, makes this nice glossy sauce.
What would you serve this with? How about baked ham?
You could do it with baked ham. You could do it on grits. Now, I know that you're a good Southern girl, so today, just the easiest thing as a nice little side is just on our cornbread.
Okay, that's my portion. What about the rest of the girls?
So, again, you know, this is a great
looks good.
farmer's market meal.
Joe, where's your restaurant?
We're right in the design district. So if you go just south of 35 on Oak Lawn,
Yes.
we're right there.
Are you on Oak Lawn proper, or do you go into the...
On the corner of Oak Lawn and High Line.
Okay, I'm coming over there.
You should.
And it would be on the east side of 35, right?
The southeast side. I get turned around. We do have a great beer dinner coming up this weekend with the folks from Amagong. Their brewmaster Phil Leinhart is coming down.
Oh, terrific.
And so, you know, all of our food, we try and really capture what we've got in our market and do great flavorful things.
Including the cocktails and the ales and the beers.
Including all those. We cook a lot with beer, and everything we do
great.
is driven towards going along with a great beer.
Well, you succeed, because I'm telling you, this right now is perfect. As always, you can get this recipe on our website. That's thebroadcasttv.com. Be sure to say hi to Chef Joe the next time you visit the Meddlesome Moth. There's so many food choices when you visit the ballparks and the stadiums, and if you don't want to break your diet, you better have a plan. We're learning healthy game day food choices when the broadcast returns. We're glad you're here. Come on back.